Hello, my name is Jesse Walter, and today we're going to learn how to paint a gradient with acrylic paint. Um, there are a few things we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the anatomy of the brush. We're going to talk about the colors. We're going to go into a little bit of color theory. So without further ado, let's get to that. First brush we're going to talk about is the filbert brush. These are filbert brushes. Now if you'll notice, these brushes are flat and pinched together at the end, and they come to a round point. Now, these brushes are great for creating broad lines depending on the direction and the pressure you apply. The next brush we're going to talk about is the flat brush. Now, flat brushes tend to be more wide than thick, right? And if you turn them on their side, much like the filbert brush, you can create nice straight lines.
The end of the bristles is called the toe. The middle part of the bristles is referred to as the belly. A ring or pressed cap which secures the bristles to the handle can be referred to as the ferrule. The heel is where the bristles go into the ferrule. This is the handle, made of wood, plastic, or bamboo. The length of the handle range from short for travel size to really long, which is ideal for large canvases. Brushes start from 0, 0, 0, then go to 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, and up. The higher the number, the bigger or wider the brush is. The consistency differs between brands. I'm going to be using Bristol paper. I like the way the Bristol paper absorbs the paint. Bristol is a layered pressed drawing paper. Now we want to talk about color, and more specifically hue, value, and color. Color is a term which actually encompasses both hue and value. In this chart here, we're looking at the values of the hues. So value is the relative lightness or darkness of a color. And hue is the spectrum in which we derive the color names: red, blue, yellow, etc. This is a color wheel. In the color wheel, we have our primary colors of yellow, blue, and red. From these three colors, we can create our secondary colors: orange, violet, and green. So as a painter, you really only need the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, to mix and create any hue that you want. By adding white and black paint to your mix, that will adjust the value of the hue. It does not take much black to darken the value, but will often take more white to lighten the value. You may notice I changed the tape on this. This is an artist tape so that it won't peel off the paper when I remove it. Now for paint, I'm going to use ultramarine, some cobalt blue, and rose red. Now I'm going to be using a couple water jars here. I like these because they're made of plastic and I can clean them pretty well. The brush I will be using will be my flat brush, this guy right here. Now for the colors, we have our ultramarine blue, we have our cobalt blue, and we have our rose red over here. Now I'm dipping my brush in the water using just an old towel that I've stripped apart into small rags. And then I'm dipping my brush into a fresh container. I've got 3 containers of water, and then I'm cleaning it. The cobalt blue, which is this one here, we're going to use that towards the center as we mix, and we're going to mix into the rose red. But I really want to start, I'm going to add some water to this ultramarine. We got a little water in there, nice and wet. And now we're going to start at the top. We're going to see some magic happen here. We're going to take some of this red, mix it in here. This blue, get some violet happening here. I'm going to have to try to smooth that red out somehow. Alright, I've got a fresh batch of rose red, and I kind of mixed in some of my violet that I had already started making. I added some white to this red. Try to help balance it. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of blending that red into, because I want to kind of patch this bottom up a little bit. Blending that into my previous blend, adding some water. We want that fluidity. We want it to paint smoothly. And I'm just going to use a wet brush, and then I'm just wiping it off. Just like that. And there you go. So we're going to let that dry. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And keep on painting.